Governor Florio, to begin, what's your assessment of the Democrats that will be on the ballot in the governor's race?
Well, I suspect the Democrats are going to have a little bit of an edge coming off of 8 years of Governor Christie and the Republican Party. But Governor to be, I think, Phil Murphy, at this point stands as probably the favorite in terms of the Democratic primary.
So is this Phil Murphy's race to lose?
Well, I think at this point, things are changing so dramatically. He's going to be a favorite, and I suspect the other candidates who will be announcing, and there may be more announcing, will be way, way behind.
Can he escape the Corzine label, which he's now being saddled with at this point?
Well, the answer is yes. There's no comparison between the two of them. Senator Governor Corzine had very good social values, I thought, but politically he left something to be desired. Phil Murphy has good political skills in addition to substance behind his candidacy.
How do you see it on the Republican side, Governor?
Well, you've got the Lieutenant Governor, and she's a strong candidate in many ways. She's a woman, which I think is helpful. In addition, she's got a law enforcement background. That's always helpful. She's had some experience in the state, so she's a strong candidate. Assemblyman Cettarelli is one of the most respected legislators among the Republicans, and so he'll be a strong candidate. So I think you start out with those two, and then a wild card is named Piscopo.
That's right, Joe Piscopo. Could he be a viable independent candidate in this Trump era?
In this era, don't count him out.
Could that mix things up and make it kind of exciting here in New Jersey?
Well, I think with all the problems that the next governor is going to have, it will be very good to have a sense of humor.
Well, we could count on that from Mr. Piscopo.
Yeah.
Let me pick up on Lieutenant Governor Kim Guadagno. Do you think that she can separate herself enough from Governor Christie in this election process?
Well, she's been separated in the sense that she and Christie have never, frankly, most people know, they've never gotten along that well together, but she's been as loyal as she could, I think, and been a good lieutenant governor as she should be. But they're not compatible, and there is a difference, and I think that difference will become more and more apparent as the campaign goes on.
What do you think, Governor Florio, likely to be the key issues?
Pension fund problems, health insurance problems, school financing problems. It's almost beyond comprehension as to how you're going to deal with these things. And it's going to be a big challenge for the next governor, whomever it is, to be able to realistically come up with proposals to solve these problems.
You speak of proposals, so all of these contenders then, do you think, Governor Kean, on both sides of the aisle are going to have to put forth proposals on these very complicated issues?
No.
No.
Because in campaigns, usually people avoid the tough issues and they talk about other things. But this is, understand how serious the fiscal problem is. This has been growing to the point of we're one of the two worst states in the country in terms of fiscal problems. And every year it gets worse, 3 times faster than the rate of inflation. So the next governor is going to face something where he's either going to have to cut drastically in things that we care about, like education, or the next governor, be it he or she, is going to have to raise taxes way beyond which any of us would think was sensible. I mean, one or the other, unless something is done in the meantime to make that problem not quite as bad as it's going to be. But I wouldn't, be honest with you, I loved being governor. I would not have run looking at this fiscal problem right now. It's too bad.
It's that bad.
And what's going to compound the problem is what happens at the national level. To the degree that the perception is there's going to be austerity there and cutbacks in things like Medicaid and so on, it's just going to compound the problems that we have at the state level if we don't get cooperation from the federal government.
Well, this is also a legislative election year. All 120 seats are on the ballot in November. A number of veteran lawmakers are retiring. Let me ask you your thoughts on that, Governor Florio. Ray Lesniak, Jim Whalen on the Republican side, Kevin O'Toole and Joe Carrillos.
I suspect it's because they know what's coming down the pike. I mean, these people, the people you've mentioned, are all very skilled people. And I suspect it's just like banging your head against the wall, thinking that not going to be able to deal with the problems, and why stay there at this point when you're not really functioning in any substantial way.
difficult times, Governor Kean, driving these people to step aside, you think?
Yeah, and on the Republican side, you've got a state gerrymander in place, so it means you're not going to have a Republican legislature unless an earthquake happens until the next census. So to sit there year after year in the minority when you can't really do some of the things you really think you want to do is frustrating. And so from the Republican side, I think that's one of the big problems.
Governors, thank you very much for sharing your perspectives on these issues. Appreciate it.
No.
you.